Have you noticed something, mate? We had in China this extraordinary reaction, the lockdown. They were building new hospitals in a week to 10 days to meet the absolute devastating crisis of this virus, right? In next to no time, by comparison with where they were, those hospitals are closed. The numbers have plummeted, they say. They're now starting flights. The economy is reopening. People are going back out on the streets. What? What happened suddenly to change all that? Because it was suddenly. But if you are testing people in a certain way and you're diagnosing people in a certain way, and we're going to bring 5G into this later on as well, then you change the diagnosis and you change the way you're testing. And what happens to the numbers? They frickin' plummet. Now, another aspect of this, Brian, which is sickening beyond belief, but I've seen enough evidence to see that it's true from people that have contacted me, and people have even said things on social media about, what's happened to their loved ones. They want, and when I say they, I mean this cult, which controls the pyramid of reaction. They obviously want as many dead people as possible that can be designated COVID-19, because that adds to this whole pandemic.
And we're going to talk about why later.
We are going to talk about why, because there's a very, very big and simple reason why, and it relates to why there's a lockdown at all. But what's clearly happening is that old people in hospital, for anything, first of all, they're being tested for COVID-19, this genetic material. And for reasons I've explained, they're going to, a lot of them are going to test positive. Not for the virus, for the genetic material. They're going to them, and according to loved ones and families, the people on the ward, etc., have said to them it's government policy. And they're trying to get these old people. You know the old people that the lockdown was to protect? Yeah, right. They're trying to get them to sign do not resuscitate forms, which means they can be allowed to die and not resuscitated. And when they die without resuscitation, they will be called COVID-19. Have you noticed how this is now starting to seep out? Oh, we may have to make choices about
the triage,
about who we treat, and the older people. Well, we're going to have to make some hard choices. Old people that you're telling not to resuscitate, to sign non-resuscitation forms, right? So they are despicably abusing the very old people that they say this lockdown is to protect. One of the family members that contacted me talked about her 83-year-old mother who was in hospital for an orthopedic reason. Not some bloody virus. And the doctors came along to her and tried to get her to sign a do not resuscitate form, for she's got an orthopedic problem. And, she had her faculties about her and she refused, but a lot of people won't, because a lot of old people won't. They won't know what's going on.
And they're trying to get them to sign it so they can save the other people.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
But Orwellian language, Brian, you have to invert everything. They're getting them to sign it so that they can let them die. And everyone who dies is a COVID-19 because they've tested. This is the scam that's going on. And what it means is that they control the figures by the way that they test, by the way they diagnose, and the way they count them. And thus, the figures can be allowed to go up and up and up to justify further lockdown. And then when they think, as I said towards the end of our last interview a couple of weeks ago, when will it be over? It will be over, actually temporarily, we can come to that later, when they think they have reached the point where everything they want from this, which is a completely destroyed global economy, it is vast numbers of people who've lost their independent livelihood and income, and thus become dependent on the state, and you do what the state says if you want your pittance every month. They will bring an end to this and bring the numbers down. Oh, we're past the curve. When they think it's gone far enough for them to have got everything they wanted from it.